What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to some more ChronoClock. As you can kind of see from my background here, I'm in the middle of moving, and I haven't made one of these episodes in a few weeks, so I was like, oh, I should probably do that, and here I am. So we're going to continue on where I left off. I remember we just met Dee Dee, and I wasn't sure how I felt about her, so I kind of asked you guys, like, do you like Dee Dee? And it seemed like from the comments that there was a lot of fans of her. So I did say by the end of the episode that I was kind of getting more used to her. So we'll see how this episode goes and kind of what ends up happening with her. But oh boy, she was a character, that's for sure. Anyways, good grief. Put my bag on my desk and tried to wipe the stupid grin off my face. Makoto was looking over at me since we were in the same classroom, but I ignored her since it didn't seem like she had anything to say. Hey Shuji, morning. How are you holding up? Good to hear it. Oh yeah, this dude confessed, huh? That was one of the other big things. He confessed to our sister. Shuji seemed to be relieved, having finally resolved the unrequited feelings he had had for Michiru all this time. Look on the bright side, maybe you'll have luck with another girl now. What? We're getting a transfer student? Nobody told me about this. Oh, okay, it's Dee Dee. I was like, wait, we're having another person coming into the group. I don't remember anything about that. Sounds like he's talking about Dee Dee. Is she in our class? Oh, dang it, she's in our class. Wow. I will never forget that from 9-9. Just, wow. Never thought we'd be in the same class. Still, I presume my father might have pulled some strings so I could look after our guest. I mean, they wouldn't exactly accept a transfer student right in the middle of the semester otherwise. I mean, I'm not happy about it. Maybe he's a little bit different feelings about it, but I was admittedly a little uneasy about how to handle the situation, so that dampened my excitement a little. Well, okay, Sarah. Hopefully I didn't just absolutely butcher that. I'm pretty sure that was Spanish, and I am... The thing about Spanish that makes it hard for me is I can't roll my R's, and I feel like it's very quintessential to Spanish to be able to roll R's and do ththings like that. Can't do it. Might make things more interesting than... Classroom desu ne? Gosh. I needed the few weeks break away from DD just to gain my sanity back. Our topic of discussion spoke out from the hallway.
Huh?
That's what I said when I first heard her talk. I was like, who is this chick? Shuji and the other students stared in astonishment as Dee Dee merrily waltzed into the room without hesitation. Even as everyone's eyes locked onto her, her smile held steady. I take back anything I've ever said nice about Dee Dee. I said it was improving by the end of last video. Wrong. But my Tomodachis just call me Dee Dee. Aren't you supposed to wait outside and let the teacher introduce you first? She marches to nobody else's drum but her own. She's like, hey, I'm gonna come in and introduce myself. You're gonna make sure you hear my absolutely awful Japanese, English message that I have to say, and you're gonna like it. I retorted under my breath as per usual, even if she wasn't as close enough to hear. God only knows if every British person is this laid back and jovial, or just Dee Dee. Of course Dee Dee noticed me, but she was surrounded by a mob of curious classmates preventing her from speaking up. Maybe if you were Japanese and you heard her talking, you wouldn't be, like, as weirded out by it, but me being an English speaker and hearing this really broken Japanese, it's very off-putting, to say the least. Shuji and I sat in the back and watched. You think she's your type? You're telling me. I don't know, what is Shuji's type? Apparently our sister. So I guess he wants loyalty? Is that kind of what I'm getting? What would you guys say is his type? I mean, our sister is like the most loyal person to us that I know of, so I feel like that's probably a trait he desires. She also seems very upkept, like she takes care of herself pretty well. I know for being blind, I feel like she does quite a bit. So he wants a woman that's put together, but he's not afraid to go after somebody that has like some kind of. I'm trying to think of like an okay way to put that that's not offensive. I don't know, but I don't know. I guess that's his type, but would he be into other types of girls too? I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm at a loss. More people started streaming into the classroom surrounding DD. I wonder if I should do something. The crowd around DD was quite curious. They all wanted to know where she was from, how she got so good at Japanese. Are we listening to the same person, guys? So good at Japanese. I'm not saying she's terrible at Japanese. She's definitely better than me. I mean, clearly, like she can actually speak Japanese and understand it. But I wouldn't say she's good. I would say she's passable. Like she can converse, but that's about it. And a lot of other stuff I'd asked her this morning. It would be nice if she didn't mention that she was staying in my house or the part about supposedly being my fiance. Yeah, that was a little weird. But you know, that happens, right? Like you make commitments to childhood friends and then you never see them again. Just as a thought crossed my mind, Dee Dee waved at me. Where did this come from? I threw my pocket watch against the floor with as much force as I could muster. He's like, that cannot happen, Dee Dee. You cannot just come in the classroom and say that. That was gold. I will say, Dee Dee is a gold mine for funny interactions when it comes to Ray. Like, so many funny interactions, just in the little amount of time we've gotten to see them together. Like, that was hilarious. Got another loony in my life now. Wasn't sure exactly what point in time I had returned to, so Suji seemed confused at my frustrated mumblings. It's nothing, just talking to myself here. I answered, turning my attention towards Dee Dee. I need to stop her from calling me master, but I already knew she'd blurt that word out the second I tried to talk to her. Just embrace it. That was the funniest thing. I already turned back time once. Failure was not an option. Thought for a second, and then I put my index finger against my lip. Surely she'd recognize the gesture as keep quiet. When Dee Dee noticed me, she looked quite surprised, but then she stopped. All according to Kikaku. Having gotten her attention, I pointed my finger to myself, then made a cross sign with my fingers. I'm guessing he did that. Hopefully she picked up on the nuance there and saw me trying to say, don't talk about me or don't mention our relationship with me. Oh my gosh, is she actually getting it? I wanted to just say, okay, master, just like shout that out loud. That would be so hilarious. Dee Dee thought about it for a moment, then her face lit up and she nodded at me twice. Ah, geez, I've got a bad feeling about that smile. Kept eye contact with her to finish getting my point across. Putting a stern look at my face, I shook my head, like this. I'll have the chicken nuggets, please. Dee Dee nodded obediently once again. What exactly just happened? What was that? Shuji hadn't joined the crowd, so noticing Dee Dee and I gesturing at each other like sign language interpreters, he was naturally a bit confused. I think we're all confused, guys. I mean, at least I am. I don't know what the comment about chicken nuggets was, but I'm assuming it was something to do with their communication. I ignored him anyway, since I still had my eye on what Dee Dee was going to do next. That smile suddenly disappeared from Dee Dee's face when she cleared her throat. My classmates were all hanging on every word of what she was about to say. What? Do lend me your mimis and hear this now. Are you talking about your ears?
していません。ましてやメイドでもありませんし、絶対に言い名付けではありません。
Huh. Definitely not what he was wanting you to say. I love that he says that exact same thing again. And my response was completely the same as last time.
どうしてたんですか、ご主人様。ぼっちり否定したじゃないですか。
I'm just imagining Ray like this right now, just like, he's just dying inside. It's like, I just told you not to say anything. Your initial message said that, and then you followed it up with saying master. Denial my ass. Push through the crowd of students to get to Didi, grabbing her shoulder so I can shake some sense into her. Were you actually born yesterday or something? This wasn't a denial, that was you digging my effing grave.
世界が回っております。しかし世界の中心は大英帝国です。
Do I have anybody who's British that watches me? Not that I know of, but is this insulting to you right now? Or is this just funny? It's just funny to me, but Her Majesty's British Empire remains at the heart of it. Like, who says that? You're in Rising Sun territory now. Whoa. It's because we're in Japan. Well, this is certainly a first. To turn back time, the situation gets even worse. Our classmates were, of course, completely gobsmacked, trying to mentally process what Didi had just announced in front of them. You know, Shuji, that's actually a very accurate idea of what's going on here, supposedly. And yes, apparently we are in some kind of light novel. Or a visual novel. It's crazy stuff happens in all of them. That's the same darn thing I thought when I woke up this morning. Ah, Christ. What a cluster this is. Now what do I do? What's worst of all is everything Didi just gave a suspiciously specific denial of what was the truth. Okay, I'm making sure I'm reading this right. This is a very crude sentence. Guess I'll have to fight fire with fire. If I called for Michiru, I could stir up the kind of mayhem reserved for summoning the Demon King from a parallel universe and make my exit stage right. Glancing towards the door, I silently wished for Michiru to appear. I meant it as a joke, but someone really did appear in the doorway. Yes, best girl. What? How dare you have a fiance when I'm standing right here? Is this why you guys wanted me to play this game? This game is so dumb, and I absolutely love it. It's so dumb. What is even going on? That wasn't that last part. Like, talk about fighting fire with gasoline. DG is the gasoline, guys. All these girls have like this fiery spirit, and then Didi just comes along and just pours herself on everything, making it 10 times worse. And I love it. It's so good. And then there's poor Ray. Like, can we read this, guys? Do you see what he's saying? Does Mia put a curse on me or something? The cutest ones are always the most dangerous, after all. Yeah, this visual novel's been a lot more fun than I thought it was gonna be. I mean, it was great before Didi showed up, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna hold back Didi. You're not even gonna see her in the freaking prologue. We're just gonna introduce her later, because you're not gonna be ready for her. If you saw Didi this early, it'd be too much. You're so dumb. I can't with this game. You show up now, and then the first thing you want to talk about is how you have bigger boobs than Didi. Quit banging on my chest, woman. Oh, whatever, screw this. Please, Ray, just abandon whatever sense you have right now and just go along with this, because it's just too funny. Stepped away from all the commotion. Oh no, he's leaving! Dang it! Didn't matter if I was there or not. People would gossip about it either way, like a perfect catch-22. Oh, thank goodness, Makoto. You are absolutely crazy, but you are surprisingly the most normal one at the moment. I need you. Makoto, who never joined the group, came right over to me.
あの DD さんと結婚するのに私とデートしようなんて言ったの
Hey, you know, if this is a visual novel, you know, I can have multiple. I should play a harem game. Do you guys think I should play? I don't think I've ever played a harem game where you can end up with multiple girls. Because that's generally frowned upon. But I'm playing games that have incest in them. So why not a harem? Like, why don't I just go all the way, guys? Really? Why don't I just have a good time and do it with multiple women? Don't let my wife hear that, okay? Come on, I wouldn't hit on other girls if I actually had a fiance. Everyone's just having a laugh about it. Makoto sighed with relief.
ところでさっきメールするって言ったけどレイ君の番号知らないから後でこっそり教えて
You know, Makoto, that's actually a great idea. That is such a wonderful idea. Let's do that. I get it now. There really would be more opportunities like this if I were more proactive in my advances. Alright. Now that we're finally through all the craziness of class, I decided to get the hell out of Dodge and found myself in the hallway. I changed the dialogue a little bit there. It fit a little bit better. Classroom got really noisy between classics and DD. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I changed the dialogue without looking at it, and it was pretty close to what it was. So, I'm not in the mood to stay behind for that inquiry. DD is cute and easy to get along with, so it's no surprise she'd be popular. Even avoiding all the fiancé talk, people would be jealous if they knew about how I get along with her. On top of that, people from totally different classes had come around, eager to meet the new, cute foreign exchange student. Well, I'll just give them 2 or 3 days. They love rubbernecking like that, and they'll get used to it soon enough. More importantly, it was lunch. I need to find some place to eat. Yes. Food is important. Let's go eat. I could go outside, climb the stairs up to the roof, or hide in the bathroom, though I probably wouldn't force myself to eat there. Yeah, don't eat in the bathroom. That's weird. Also, that's like a cesspool for germs. I decided to go upstairs. Maybe I prefer high places because I'm a moron. Huh. Never thought about it that way. I'm a moron, but I don't really like to eat in high places, so... At this point, it was becoming a habit of mine to eat lunch on the roof. And of course, these two are here. Should be asking you two the same question. The dynamic duo of first years was here too, oddly. I believe that was my line. What are you two hanging around here for? Yeah, and it's a terrible habit because you have this horrible idea that you can just walk over to the edge and somehow jump off and be okay. I don't know where you got that inkling from, but you should probably stop hanging out on roofs. Just an idea. I wanted to start eating here too. Well, Misaki, you already caused quite the stir earlier by talking about your boob size. Don't know where that conversation came from, but I loved it, and you should do it again, because it was absolutely hilarious. Makes for 3 of us with the same motive then. Despite my retorting, I noticed that Miyu's attitude towards me hadn't changed. That was a relief. I changed my mind. I don't want you here. Shut up. Stop calling her that. She's not my fiance. Don't you start on me. I can't even spit without someone trying to talk to me about that today. It's good dirt. I love her little sayings. I'm just imagining her scooping up some dirt and like, it's good dirt, guys. Don't you want to see it? It's good dirt. You could build out a house out of it in Minecraft. It's good dirt. Misaki smirked at me. I know. Can we look at that smirk? Like, that's why she is kind of best girl. I mean, Crow, of course, best girl. But Misaki, best girl, too. Yeesh, Misaki probably just likes to watch me squirm more than she's actually interested in DD. I probably would have been smirking too if her joking weren't at my own expense.
DD 先輩でしたっけ？美咲ちゃんとみちるちゃんに話は聞きましたけど、留学生って気になりますね。
I know, she's the mysterious exchange student. It's pretty crazy. If Haruhi Suzumiya was here, she would be pretty interested.
はい。
Miyu cocked her head to the side, but I just ignored her and pulled out my phone to text DD. I'm just imagining we're in the middle of this conversation, and he's just like, alright, I gotta message DD. Just totally ignored Miyu. And then Misaki, yeah, just ignore her too. She's always saying some weird stuff. She's probably getting overwhelmed from all the attention today. It might be nice if she came here to get away from the other students.
hey, ご主人様、お呼びですか？
Apparently I did. That was fast! Were you just waiting for me in the shadows or
お
something?
昼休みだったので、いろいろと観光していたのでござるよ。
Oh, of course it is. So that totally makes sense why you would just be randomly where I was. Cool. So you're wandering up here too, are you? Also, you screwed up your little reference back there.
あの人が
Who was that? Blonde? You don't belong here. Miyu, ever the shy reclusive type, looked a bit intimidated. DD, I'd like to introduce you to Miyu Suzuki and Misaki Ando. They're both first years.
キュートなガールたちですね。ご主人様のガールフレンドですか？
I heard girlfriend. And kawaii shoujos. I'm guessing that's a couple of kawaii girls? Yeah? Might be. Those be your two kanojos? Girlfriends? What's right? What kind of follow-up is that?
ほうほう、興味深い。
I love how Misaki's face is just like, eat shit and die. She's just so, like, over this.
ペット？なんか変な先輩が2人に増えた気がするわ。
How can I add on to that? It's just true. Miyu seemed to take me seriously while Misaki just snarked about the whole thing. As I was saying, Misaki, this is DD. She's our latest transfer student. Your first name is Dorothy, right?
イエース！ドロシー・ダベンポートです。トトって犬を飼っていそうですね。わお！イギリスの家にいますことよ。とってもキュートなのです。
She has a dog named Toto. Did we know that? I think we just talked about it before. But I just love that Miyu mentions that. She's like, yes, I do, actually.
やっぱり。
Miyu, you're so adorable. Two of them chatting and giggling away was pretty therapeutic. Hey, Misaki, do you know what those two are talking about?
かかしよ。
You'd be the scarecrow. What? I'm so lost. What is that even supposed to mean? Like a ninja or something. Sounds cool.
バカ。
I can imagine Crow insulting her like that too.
ところで、みちるがあの転校生のことでへそを曲げてるわよ。
A tizzy. Hey Siri. What does tizzy mean?
Tizzy is an informal term it means a state of nervous excitement or agitation.
Ah. I learned a new word today. Seriously, given the way Dee Dee was behaving, evidently that little talk me true had with her hadn't really been of much use. What am I gonna do with her?
みちるにはできる限りのフォローをしておいてあげたから、放課後にでもなんとかしなさい。
Oh, I'm sure I will. I'm sure whether I want to or not, it'll come up. Well, thanks for telling me, it helps.
別にあなたのためじゃなくて、友達のためにフォローしただけなんだから。
Okay, you don't have to get so tsundere on me. It's fine, Misaki, it's fine. Yeah, it still helps. Misaki was short enough that I could easily pat her on the head, but she shook her head to get me off.
ちょっと子供扱いしないでよ。
Well, then stop acting like one. How should I treat you then?
一人の女として扱うべきじゃないかしら。
What's with this suddenly embarrassed face?
やっぱりあなたは敵よ。いつか泣かしてやるわ。
One of these days I'm gonna make you cry. Okay, bet. Do it. Misaki stamped her foot and tried to charge me, but I just held my arm out and she couldn't move an inch further. I was more worried about my sister. I haven't really done anything fun with my sister for a while. Interesting sentence. Since I've been so busy, so maybe I should entertain the idea with her after school.
仲がいいな、あの二人。
They're such good friends.
ハッピーなことです。
Rashi. All in all, this turned out to be quite a fun lunch period. Gosh, this game is so dumb. Gosh. I don't know. I got sick, and I still haven't recovered from it. I have, like, some, like, chest thing going on, and I've had it for, like, weeks now, and absolutely terrible. But, you know, I'm not gonna go see somebody about it. Then after school, as soon as homeroom ended, Dee Dee trotted over to me like a puppy. I guess it doesn't matter now since the cat's out of the bag and all, but I can't really believe you're actually calling me that at school.
旦那様とか王様にした方がよろしいですか?
No, both of those were infinitely worse. Oh, forget it. That just sounds even worse. Anyways, did you have any plans for after
ク
school?
ラスのニューフレンドから誘われましたね。ミュウさんとミサキさんからもメールが来てます。
Atarashi Tomodachis. Even Mio and Misaki texted me. You gave your number to those two. I like how Ray says that like it's something you should regret. Like, oh, you gave your number to those two? Sorry. I had to hope Dee Dee wouldn't tell them anything they didn't need to know.
私も放課後にどうしますかとご主人様に質問しに来たのです。
Well, I need to talk to Mio. Apparently. If you want to go hang out with someone else, then you don't have to force yourself to stay with
私は
me.
ご主人様のメイドですから。
You're still my loyal maid, huh?
正確にはご主人様の所有者であるお嬢様のメイドですが。
What? I don't know what people mean when they say it's complicated. I sighed and picked up my bag. Sorry, I'm like trying to clear my throat and laugh at the same time. I was gonna walk home with Michiru, but if you're not booked up, then you're welcome to come with us. If you'd rather turn the others down, then I figured I'd ask if you want to come hang out with us. Alright, let's go. If we're gonna walk through town, I may as well show Dee Dee around. I guess. Sure. I called Michiru as we walked through the hall and told her to meet us at the
お
gate.
嬢様は携帯電話が使えるんですね。
Yeah, she can't text, of course, but she can certainly answer any calls. Okay, I'm finally, like, connecting what happened back here. So we got the backlog. Because I was like... I was so confused by the mistress is declared property. I'm like, what are you even saying? I'm the loyal maid of the master, who happens to be the mistress's declared property. Still a weird sentence, but, you know... Certainly can't answer any calls. She got her first cell phone before she lost her sight. She can even call someone on her own as long as she has them on her speed dial.
ほうほう。私も後で電話番号を教えてもらっておきましょう。
Sure, you do that. Oh, that reminds me, I meaning to ask. After I left you guys alone this morning, what did you talk about exactly? If I want to know, that is. I didn't have a chance to talk with Dee Dee alone until just now, so I almost forgot about it.
何を？何を？
Dee Dee cocked her head left and right as she recalled what had
お嬢
happened.
様はご主人様がいかにゴードであるかをずっとトークしていました。
Oh, okay. That's weird. So, I know Kami-sama means God. So she was talking about how her brother is like a god to her. That's not strange at all, guys. No, of course not. Not weird. She really that much of a zealot? Evidently, while trying to chew Dee Dee out, Michiru got sidetracked and started singing my praises again. She's just like, you freaking blonde, you know, I'm gonna get mad at you. By the way, my brother is the best guy ever. He's like a god to me. Like, I'm just imagining, like, she just, like, totally transitioned it that way. Oh, as I made doubly sure that nothing weird had happened that caused my worries, exited the school building.
姉様
Over here. I called out to my little sister and took her by the hand. Just like that, Michiru's face bloomed like a rose into a radiant smile. Of course,
お
because,
兄
you
様
know,
からデートのお誘いをいただけるなんて久しぶりのことですね
don't get your hopes up. I just felt like some walking around town and going home together.
今日は帰りたくない
What? Why is that? You can just crash at my place.
それはつまり同じ家に帰るということですね
What's wrong with that?
こんにちは
Dee Dee, get out of here. You were not invited to this conversation.
あら DD さん
If we're gonna be out at this hour, I figure we ought to show Dee Dee around town.
そうですねさすがに少しはお客様らしくおもてなししないと沢渡りの名が廃りますね
Man, I didn't expect to hear that from you. From the way she was acting this morning, I expected her to complain that it wouldn't be just the two of us. Michiru spoke calmly without breaking her
DD
composure.
さんを説得するのはめんどくさくなりましたので
I don't know, I'm just imagining she was listening to Michiru with this face on right now that she has. Just like... Oh! Yes! Hi! Yes! Quite the little nihilist we have in the making here, I see.
遠征定期とは何ですか辞書を引いてください Yes, mom!
Kashikoma. Did he always responded cordially even when being treated like a nuisance?
皮肉も通じない
It's probably good that she's a little dense when it comes to those things, then that way she doesn't get insulted. How sarcasm just evades her. I saw Michiru sighing and I couldn't help but grin. This isn't so bad. Michiru's acid tongue made it difficult for other mates to deal with her, but she seemed to have a pretty good chemistry with Dee
そ
Dee.
れでどこに行きますか
In other words, Dee Dee is willing to just take whatever she says. It doesn't read into it too much. If we're gonna show her around, we should start with Central Park. Central Park? Like, New York? The three of us walked to the park amid the sound of cicadas. I know, that's like the classic Japanese thing, when you hear cicadas in the background of an anime or something. Dee Dee let out a big sigh once we reached the park. Are you worn out or something? It barely took half an hour to get to the park, and we walked at a slow enough pace for Michiru to keep up. I didn't think she'd get this exhausted that quickly.
いえ大丈夫です
Dee Dee smiled and tried to play it down, but those were beads of sweat on her
日
forehead.
本の気候が合わないのでしょうか
Gosh, like that was something I had to get used to, or I'm going to have to get used to when I move here. I'm moving somewhere that has like a higher elevation, and I'm like, oh, it felt much harder to breathe there, that's for sure. Could be, I think the UK is further north than Hokkaido, actually.
日本はご飯も水も美味しくて良いですが暑いですね
Okay. Yeah. I have to do that sometimes. I just have to like, okay, that's her dialogue. I don't really understand what she's trying to convey here or why she would choose these words, but you know, these words are here and I just have to deal with it. Hot enough to boil a monkey's bum. Who says that? Alright. While Dee Dee griped about the weather exhausted, I took my phone out and looked at the monthly average temperatures in London. Apparently the average temperature there in July and August barely scrapes the 20s.
涼しそうでいいですね
Michiru was right, but someone who isn't used to average temperatures almost 10 degrees higher than back home would naturally be exhausted by weather like this. Dee Dee, don't push yourself too hard.
Thank you です
Arigato, lad. Dee Dee smiled at me. I figured we ought to get out of this heat and duck into a cafe or some other place that'd be cooler. Dee Dee, did you know that the monorail system in town and this monument were designed to have the appearance of a sundial from an aerial view?
Yes 少し調べてきました
Alright, good. You're educated then. And this should be easy to explain. Central Park is right in the center of the city, so people will generally ask for directions based on what direction on the sundial it is. Interesting. It reminds me of I lived in the South, and they had this big chicken. It was a KFC that had the big chicken on it. And people would give you directions based on where that is. They'd be like, oh, okay, so you need to go right past the big chicken and take a right. Like, people would literally give directions like that. Little weird, but, you know, it works. For example, we just left school, which is at 6 o'clock.
6ですね。
Checking your 6. She's just like... Guess that's how they say it over there. Yeah, similarly, our house is in the direction of 3 o'clock. The rail station and shopping district are at 12 o'clock, so if you need to go shopping, you need to go that way. If I could stop clearing my throat every, like, 2 seconds, that'd be great. Don't know why I all of a sudden cannot talk while I'm recording. It's just how it goes. As long as you know those 3 directions, it shouldn't be too hard for you to get around town. Dee obediently listened and responded. Was I actually getting through to her, though? That is the great question. Okay, let me just make sure. Can you tell me what's at 3 o'clock?
3時は紅茶の時間で。
No. Forget everything I just said. It's all useless.
これは素なのでしょうか。ボケているのでしょうか。
Demetrius over here just calling her an imbecile. This is Dee we're talking about, so hell if I know. And Dee is just laughing along. She's like, yep. Gosh, she's like my 1-year-old daughter. Like just the way, like, if you start laughing, she'll start laughing too. Like, she just wants to be a part of the crowd. With a thought crossing my mind, I held my hand out to Dee. What? Just hold still for a second. I put my hand on Dee forehead.
ああ、こう。
I knew it. I couldn't get a precise beat on her temperature, but I could easily tell she was getting feverish. Oh, okay, so we're gonna say she's like kind of out because she's a little bit loopy. Maybe the heat's getting to her. I was gonna show her the shopping district, but I think we need to go back
ど
home
うし
now.
ました？
Didi's getting a
まさか
fever.
そんなナースジョークを。私はもっと遊びたいです。
I'm serious. You don't seem to have a cold, so I think you're just really exhausted from all this walking. I was already hand in hand with Demetrius, so I used my other free hand to take a hold of Didi's own hand. So we're literally just holding both girls in each hand. Interesting. Well, I'll show you around town more tomorrow. Just be a good girl and come unwind with us back
わ
home.
かりました。が、一人でワーキングできますよ。
I'm your hypothetical fiance here. Just trust me a little bit more. It wouldn't hurt to let her walk on her own, but I didn't want to risk her getting sick.
両手にフラワーですね。男らしいですこと。
Cut the sulking. This is the time for it. Just let it
私を置いて帰
happen.
ると言わなかったので、苦しいほど大好きという評価は落とさないことにいたします。
Oh. Oh. I think that's a reference to an 80s song, Mike. I think it's something like my own personal Jesus or something like that. I'm hoping that's what the reference is to, but I think she just really holds him in that high of a regard, which is a little bit creepy, but you know, that's just my opinion. Has your opinion of me ever changed?
上は天井知らずです。
Still has room to grow. Maybe that growth will be more manageable if you actually held a humble opinion of me for once. Michiru's hand was cool to the touch while Didi's hand was burning up. Dealing the contrast of body temperatures together, we headed towards the monorail
なんだ
station.
か3人で手をつないでいると仲良しの兄弟みたいですね。
No, we look nothing alike. Nobody would think we're friendly siblings. You are so blonde. You look nothing like him. Only Didi seemed happy and carefree. Good grief. Didi may be the same age as me, but I felt like if I had another younger sister entirely relying on me joining the fray now. Boy, guys. Some wild girls here. Summer was still in the early onset, but it was a hot, humid night all the same. Opening the doors and windows wasn't an option since it would let in mosquitoes, so we just had to manage with the electric fan droning. Man, all we did after school was coming home and slag around the house doing nothing. After eating dinner and taking a bath, I was lying in bed playing a game on my phone. It's not like I don't have the money for air conditioning. I'm so glad you've already taken a bath. That way I know there's not going to be some weird scene with Dee Dee coming in and be like, oh, master, let me rub your back. Let me scrub it for you. Because I just know that could happen. Just the type of character Dee Dee is, she'd be so ditzy and would just come in without thinking about it. All those scratch lottery tickets had given me an ample sum for myself, but of course my family would get pretty inquisitive if they found out I put on air conditioning in the annex, wanting to know where I got that kind of money, if it weren't for that. Man, how the hell am I supposed to spend dirty money anyways? I really wanted to go out and spend a crap ton after I got it all. In retrospect, I guess my priorities mixed up back then, since spending that kind of money while being a student wasn't an option. Once I have a day job, I'll no doubt be able to play the stock market like a piano. Well, whatever. I was getting tired of this fetch quest for an item in the game that I couldn't seem to obtain. Oh my gosh. I almost jumped out of my skin at her sudden yelling. Oh, it's you, Dee Dee. Are you feeling well enough to be walking around now? Okay. What is this, an RPG? And wait, you're back in your maid outfit? I've just finished my maidly duties for the day, actually. I have to really pay attention to what she says, because there'll just be a random English word in there, and it's like, you really have to pay attention. Man, you are working through your fever, as long as you're alright, I guess. Still, if you're finished, you should change and get comfortable now. I just wanted to have a conversation with my master? Is that what... I'm sorry, I didn't pay enough attention to the dialogue. I'm just kind of filling in the blank. Did he flop down the floor in front of me? Honestly, it made me happy to hear her say that. I don't mind, your maid outfit is pretty cute anyways. I'm always happy when I can wear my maid getup. Gosh, her eyes are so sparkly. She is so excited about this. Most people never have a good reason to wear a maid outfit unless they're going to a costume party or something. I'm gonna call cap on that one, guys. I don't think that's true. I did get my wife to wear a maid outfit. That was pretty good. Nah, more like weird otaku guy or girl wants to wear one of them. For some reason, the former sounded even weirder to me. Anyways, Dee Dee, would you mind if we talk some other time? It's nothing important. I'm just trying to finish a fetch quest here. Scratched my cheek. Also, you might not want to come in at a boy's room at this hour. You get what I'm saying, right? Dee Dee glanced around the room, evidently realizing what I was getting at. What? No, Michiru would come running. No, more like she'd be overjoyed. She'd want to join in even. Yeah, that's true. You can't know that even if you barely known me for a whole day. Yeah, I would say Rei's a pretty good guy. I mean, I've complimented him pretty well in the past. Hey, wait, how does everyone know about... Wait, don't tell me, Michiru. Both my head and my stomach hurt. Darn it, Michiru, she can't get rid of Dee Dee, so she's trying to exploit that whole situation for her own means. Is she? Do I have to play Misty for her now or something? Misty from Pokemon? Yeah, that's totally one, yeah. Michiru treated me like an innocent, virtuous girl, but she clearly thought the opposite of Dee Dee. That situation was totally different from this. Yes, it is. No, it's not like that. Everything just happens so quickly. I guess the realization hasn't sunk in for me yet. No, we're so over Miyu. Like, there's so many better girls in this. We got Misaki, we got Crow, we got Makoto. Even Makoto is a pretty... I would say those are my top 3, guys. Like, those are my top 3 girls. That was the one question I couldn't sidestep with a joke. It's not even like she turned me down. Miyu and I both felt like we weren't ready to go that far yet. I doubted Dee Dee could understand how I felt. The only thing Miyu and I had in common was that we had nothing in common. I'm still single as ever, sadly.
私との約束はそのままにしておいてもらっていいでしょうか。
Oh, no, sorry, I forgot about this one other girl. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, can't fulfill that obligation, you know. I was young, you know, I didn't really know what I was doing. We didn't sign a contract or anything. Do you have that in writing? I don't think you do, so sorry. That'd be alright with you. It was a surprising suggestion. So basically you're trying to say you like me.
ですよ。
Please don't say lad. That's not romantic. As a man.
それはまだちょっとわかりませんが、表面として好きです。
You wanted to marry me, but you didn't think about seeing me as a man. She displayed a dazzlingly beautiful smile. Oh, Jesus. My heart's racing here. Jesus, take the wheel. This is sort of like how I felt when I spent time with Miyu, but Gigi's interactions with me clearly showed understanding of me as someone of the opposite gender. Is she more upfront with her feelings about me because she's a foreigner? As I mulled over those strange thoughts in my head, Gigi seemed to take notice and pointed at the game I'd put down a minute
ご
ago.
主人様、もし健全なトークがいいならゲームしますか？
Do you play this too?
できます。
Gigi shouted gleefully, then ran out of the room. She's gonna go get her Switch. Somehow the room felt bizarrely quiet now. The air was taking on a twinge of sadness. Alright, we dip. We leave the room. So Crow isn't gonna be showing up either then. Yeesh, Didi's just dragging me around here. And here I was starting to feel more confident in my own independence too. I thought about all that seemed to change for me. I still had trouble grasping the reality of Didi being here. Of course it was unusual in itself for a foreign girl to end up as my personal maid, but that wasn't really what had me worried. To be exact, would someone really travel halfway around the world to meet a fiance they don't know? Maybe in certain cultures. I know there's a lot of cultures that have arranged marriages. While she was definitely an otaku with an interest for our cuisine, she didn't need to go to the effort of planning an entire homestay to experience though. She could have just come as a tourist. And on top of that, her objective in coming to Japan was to meet me, a person she hardly knew anything about. Doesn't make any sense. If I were to evaluate myself objectively, my face is pretty normal, and in all honesty, my personality seems to make a lot of girls avoid me. Wow, I feel like this is a very honest depiction of probably most visual novel players. And I mean that lovingly, guys, because I love you guys. But, that was me when I was younger, so I can tell you that. There are a few exceptions, though. I went over the list of girls that would be potentially approachable for me in my head. In Makoto's case, learning her secret has allowed her to open up to me a little bit more. And Michiru has been fond of me for a long time as well. No, wait, why am I seriously considering my own sister as an option? I don't know. Why is there a sister route in this game, huh, Ray? I wonder what you're planning on doing. Screw that. We all know he's not talking about screwing the plans. He's talking about something else. Anyways, next. As for Misaki, she has a weird way of showing affection. I thought she hated me from before, but maybe she's just suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. To start with, she acted like I was a devious criminal to be kept under close watch, but maybe now she doesn't know whether to like or hate me after getting an earful from Michiru about me. Taking Michiru out of the equation, there are two girls I might have a chance with. Unlike them, however, Didi doesn't have any particular reason to act like that. I see, maybe that's what she's after, is the Sawatari fortune. It had practically slipped my mind that I was the son of a hugely wealthy family. Which I can appreciate that he's not, like, too into that. I would like to see some interaction with his family and see how much influence on the town that his family has. I mean, we've gotten to see a glimpse of it with the park and all that, but I'd like to see, like, interactions with his family, I guess. That would be cool. Just as I was beginning to suspect of the possibility of her having darker motives, Didi suddenly ran back into my room. Seeing her dancing in her wholesome maid outfit, I couldn't help but chuckle at my own dumb thoughts. At how dumb my own thoughts were. They say everyone has 3 points in their life when they're popular, and I guess this is the first shot for me. Or so I thought before we started playing the game together. Didi, just how many times have you played this game before? Guys, why? What? Why? Why does every character get this weird shot? As we both did grinding on low-level monsters, I couldn't help but yell out in surprise. This is quite a well-known game, enough so that girls even had a chance to play it, but Dee Dee's character moved around in perfectly rehearsed patterns. I'd seen more skilled players in my time, but she was clearly no newbie.
むふん答える必要はないです
Do you know how many breads you've eaten in your life? Wow, you can even quote JoJo. What? Is that a JoJo's
ジョジョを
reference?
知らない日本人はいないと思います
I think your perception of Japanese people is kind of inaccurate. Looking up from my own game to report back, the words suddenly caught in my throat. Ah. I've been so immersed in the game that I hadn't noticed before, but just like that time with Mio, I could see them. Maybe this is his fault. Maybe he's doing this on purpose, having them sit down in these weird positions.
ご主人様急に動かなくなってどうしました
Oh, nothing. My own character was still alive, even if I got distracted for a few seconds, but after that, concentrating on the game was a lost cause. I kept stealing glances at something other than the game. Wonderful, just
ご主
wonderful.
人様やられてますよ
You're getting owned. Who says that? When I looked at the screen again, my character was dead.
最初はご主人様の方がうまいと思いましたが私の方がお上手かもですね
My guy is distracted, okay? He is horribly, downly, distracted. I'm just not in the zone right now.
そういうことにしておきましょう
If that's what melks your Guernsey. By the way, it looks like your character just got sent back to camp too.
はおお JQ は一瞬ですね
Dee Dee groaned when she realized what had happened, but she quickly went back to smiling again.
こうやって一緒に遊んでいるだけで幸せですから No problem ですね
No problem. This game's kind of old, so I have all the gear I wanted to get now, but that's not a bad excuse to play some more. We kept playing without a care in the world. You know, I hadn't pegged you as a real outdoors person. You're more of an indoors type.
いえどちらかといえばアウトドア派です子供の頃はリンゴの木に登ったりしてボーイみたいだと笑われてました
You know, that doesn't surprise me. I wonder if you fell the tree a few too many times. Guess that really does suit your image better. So it really is the heat that made her sick today, then.
じゃあご主人様の子供の頃はどんな感じだったんですか
Me, I was pretty normal. I might have been a bit of a spoiled brat, though.
ひねくれ
I mean, I was born into a wealthy family, so I got treated differently by a lot of different people.
おおしかしそれもまたノブリス・オブリージュですね
I love hearing those words. Those are like my two favorite words. Noblesse oblige. I mean, like, nobleman's obligation. When I was a kid, I couldn't even just explain it that easily. Hell, even now, I haven't exactly made the most pleasant memories. Oh, that's right, Dee Dee. Could I ask you something?
OK ですよ
If you've had just one chance to turn back time and relive your life from any point in the past, how far back would you turn the hands of time?
やり直すですか急なクエスチョンですね
Shitsuman. I was trying to figure out, is that a Japanese word or is that like a swear? Like, I don't even know. You don't need to overthink it.
難しく考えるのは苦手です
That doesn't surprise me. Dee Dee laughed and pondered over my question. I'm really surprised she's thinking about it that hard. While waiting for her answer, I stole a glance at her panties again, then Dee Dee smiled.
子供の頃に戻りたいですね
I just want to go back to where you weren't in my room. Oh, there's something from your past you'd want to change.
ご主人様が微妙だった時に出会えていれば私もご主人様も今よりハッピーになれたと思います
Oh, so that's what it was. She didn't want to turn back time for herself, she wanted to help me out with my own childhood difficulties. Wow, that's actually surprisingly caring of you, Dee Dee.
なかなか骨のある女子だな
Hearing a familiar voice, I glanced up at the ceiling. So she's here, is she? Of course I couldn't talk to her in front of Dee Dee.
一日家を開けておったら何やら不思議な使用人が増えておるの
Hey, I didn't ask for it, just kinda happened, Crow. Crow came down from the ceiling and floated
ご
around
主
Dee
人
Dee.
様、これはどちら様ですか？
Wait, what the frick? Can she see Dee Dee? Wait, can Dee Dee see Crow? What? What? I guess Crow's kind of like a ghost. Wait, something is very rotten in the state of Denmark. What? Crow seemed every bit as surprised as I
わ
was.
お、ジャパニーズゴーストですか。
Japanese
初め
ghost.
て見ましたが、あんまり大和なでしこではないですね。
Dee Dee was clearly looking directly at Crow.
もしや、我が輩が見えておるのか？
She's just like, can you see me? Looks like she can even hear you speak. I gave Crow a questioning look. Hey Crow, what's going on
我
here?
が輩に聞くな。
Do not ask of me. Who else am I gonna ask here? You're the guardian of the pocket watch, aren't you? Maybe try being the guardian of yourself sometime.
別に我が輩はお主以外に存在を知られたところで何の問題もないぞ。
Well, maybe not for you, but it sure as hell be for me. I have no idea how Mitra would react if she were to find out about Crow. Even if that didn't come to pass, if someone else knew Crow existed, they might eventually learn about the power existing in the pocket watch too.
何か私がいけないことでしたか？
Always. No, but I could have sworn I was the only person to be able to hear or see Crow. Is Dee Dee some kind of paranormalist? Dee Dee, don't tell anyone else about Crow. It's our secret.
内緒ですか？
Like, our face just got so serious. She's like, secret? Yes. I can keep secrets. Yes. Dee Dee's expression hardened at my serious request. Crow is actually a ghost that inhibits this estate, but if anyone found out she existed, they try to banish
お
her.
い待て。だからいつから我が輩が幽霊に？
We're just making up our own alibi
な
for
る
her.
ほど。確かに陰陽師にゴーストがバスターズですね。
We know who they're gonna call.
そこの能天気な女子も納得するでない。
So many meme references in
大
here.
丈夫ですよゴーストさん。私も死んだ後の世界は気になってましたし。
I've always been keen on the world of the dead myself. So far, we've had a Ghostbusters reference. We have had a JoJo's reference.
そういう話をしておるのではなかろう。
I feel like we've had some other references too, but maybe I'm just not thinking of them at the moment. I don't even care that much, but if you guys don't keep it down, you'll summon the Demon King.
魔王？兄様、よろしいですか？
Dee Dee and Crow instantly fell silent after hearing the voice from the hallway. Yes, I would
わかり
mind.
ました。失礼いたします。
Is she just gonna come in anyways? What exactly it was she understood, I don't know, but she opened the door and stepped in the room all the
妙
same.
に賑やかでしたが、どなたかいらっしゃるんですか？
Dee Dee is here.
私だけです。
Wow, she's actually managing to, like, hide Crow this time. Doing a lot better than when she was in the classroom and wasn't supposed to say anything, but ended up just blurting everything out.
DD さんがいるだけでも致命的な問題ですが、もっと人のいる感じの会話だと思いましたが。
Oh no, totally not Crow, this floating girl who, like, doesn't cover her butt hardly at all. You know, everyone just wants to show me their panties or their butt. I don't know why. Just everyone in this game, which I'm glad that Ray is the kind of character that he does make a comment about it, but he's not like too weird about it, you know? He probably should say something, but maybe not, because then he'd just get slapped. So maybe he's actually a smart guy to not do that. Michiru glanced around the room with her eyes I couldn't see.
気のせいみたいですね。相変わらず里い娘よの。
Team DD was really the only one besides me aware of Crow's presence, as Michiru didn't clue into it at all. Is there a problem, Michiru?
私はそろそろ寝ようと思いましたので、いつものお休みの中を授かりに参りました。
No. You don't have a routine like that.
子宝を授かりに。
No, we don't have a routine like that. That's even worse. Yeah, I'm so glad Ray and I are just on the same page about that.
毎日妄想はしております。
Okay, yeah, that's why you're so into your brother, I'm sure. And then Mitra, in spite of her blindness, reached out and grabbed DD by the collar for precise accuracy.
What? では兄様、おやすみなさいませ。
Good night. I just didn't have the energy to argue with Mitra, so I watched as she left, dragging DD alongside of her. Hey, she actually saved us there a little bit. I'm not complaining. I still could hear them out in the hallway.
お嬢 私をどうしますか？あなた、手の届くところに置いておかないと何をしでかすかわかりませんし、私の抱き枕にして差し上げます。
I'm gonna be using your giant boobs as a pillow.
おお、まさかお嬢様と一緒のベッドでスリープできますか？ぺったんこにプレスして布に転写するんですよ。
Oh, never mind. She doesn't even think she has big boobs. She's just like, I'm gonna use your flat chest, your waterboard,
枕にする
your
んではなく
washboard.
作るんですか？
That was the last I heard of Dee Dee before their voices faded into the distance.
む
Thank goodness. I can only handle her so much. The two of us just nodded at each other once we were alone in the
も
room.
しも寝るか。
Yeah. I turned off the game system Dee Dee had left behind and started laying out my bed. Glancing around the room, I could still sense the aroma of Dee Dee's shampoo in the air. Okay. Really random, but sure. Good grief, this day was long. This long day was drawing to a
小
close.
さい女子の問題が片付いて落ち着くと思ったら、何やら騒がしいことになりそうだな。
Oh yeah, I'm sure this is just the beginning. I mean... Turning off the lights. Ignoring Crow, I reached for the string of my
明
lamp.
日か。
Tomorrow. Click. Gosh, Dee Dee is... Dee Dee is Dee Dee, guys. Yep, definitely Dee Dee. What's going on here? The next day was when things really turned around for me. Well, we're going to save that for the next episode. How about that? Got to see more of Dee Dee. That was great. Lots of funny moments in this. I felt like I just laughed this whole episode, which is nice. I like a game that makes me want to laugh and just like genuinely feel good, right? Like that's the goal for something that's kind of comedic. Hopefully we'll be getting towards the point where we're going to start making selections and going down a route. I think that'll probably start happening here soon. Doesn't seem like there's too many choices for us to make, so probably have a little bit more ways to go in the shared route just to get to know the characters more, and then we'll really like focus on them and their routes. I don't recall their routes being super long, so probably just so many hours. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited to get to know each of the girls better. I definitely have favorites when it comes to them, but I don't really dislike anybody. I mean, Dee Dee, I make fun of her a lot. Probably not my favorite girl for romance, but we'll see how that changes once we get into her route. I think that's something I'm looking forward to. And then, of course, Misaki, Makoto, and Crow are probably the three routes I'm looking forward to the most, per se. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm so inconsistent on this series. I've really tried to, but I've gotten sick, and then now I'm moving. Like, I just always have something going on, like some kind of excuse not to do these videos, and I feel so bad for that. Like, I'm so lazy, and I'm probably going to be working here soon. I'm just like, I got so much going on. So many excuses. But anyways, guys, I'll let you go. Appreciate you guys watching and following along with me, and I shall see you in the next episode. Have a good one.